Today, we're going to be talking about group practice owners and how much money they make. Like everything we talk about here, most things are going to be really dependent on a variety of variables. I will give you the answer right away, and then I will tell you what I have seen from different group practice owners that I have done consulting with. So a group practice owner, generally speaking, will see anywhere from 5 to 10% go to them as the group practice owner. And I'm going to explain that. And that's the top revenue. That is not maybe like after a split or after they, pay and then a percentage. And so if you think about it in these terms, if a practice is generating $1 million a year, which can be done in a group practice, the practice owner will pay themselves a salary or pay themselves out anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year. And that's a pretty good general rule of thumb. There are a couple of factors that go into this. One factor is whether or not the group practice owner is seeing clients themselves. If they are still seeing clients and they're carrying a full caseload, they will be paid from their own caseload and they will be paid from the group practice. So you'll actually see probably a higher salary for the group practice owner at that point. As most group practice owners begin to dwindle down the amount of clients they see, they're going to take less revenue from their own clients. And then the idea is that their revenue would grow or their pay would grow from the group practice. Some other things to consider is how the group practice owner pays, whether people are employees or whether people are contractors. There's really not a difference in usually what a group practice owner pays themselves, whether they have employees or contractors. Really, by the time you pay taxes and benefits, the differentiation between an employee and a contractor is pretty much a wash. You just give more to the contractor and they pay for their own benefits and taxes, or if you're an employee and the employer takes that on. And that's where the differentiation a lot of the times comes from, but the percentage is pretty much the same because of expenses like rent and admin staff and electronic health records and internet and all of the things that go into a group practice. The group practice owner if let's say your split is 50-50, they're not keeping 40% of that for themselves. Usually, obviously there are other expenses that go into running a group practice. So that's where my next thought is how much a group practice owner makes really depends on their expenses. One thing that can be so expensive is rent. Right? So if you're in an area where rent is very high and you have a large office, you have a group practice where there's 5, 10, 15 office spaces, that can be very expensive and that can take up a larger than normal budget from a group practice. If there's a lot of admin support, that's a line item for their budget, right? If the electronic health record, if you bill insurance, all of these different things that you're offered at your group practice, those are expenses and that cuts into any profits, whether profits are gone right back into the business. So I've seen a lot of group practice owners not take a very high salary. They'll just take like a usual and customary salary for a therapist, and then they'll take their profits and they'll roll it into the group practice in other ways. I can say I did that last year. We took not very much in net profits and we took a substantial amount of money to expand our business. We doubled both locations. And so we had to put down, first class security, buy furniture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we used any profits from last year to invest in our business. Some other people that are group practice owners may use profits or a portion of their profits to invest in training, whatever the needs of the business are. And so, like I said, it really varies depending on what is going on in the business. I'm going to talk about the group practice owner pay a little bit more, but first I'd like to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that is full service, that can help you run your group practice or your solo practice, whether you're in person or virtual, or you accept insurance or private pay, TherapyNotes has it all for you. What I love about TherapyNotes is they have a free telehealth option. You can bill insurance through there. You can take credit card payments. They have a client portal, and it's so easy to run reports to see what's going on in your practice. So I highly recommend TherapyNotes. So a lot of group practice owners wonder, like, how much money am I really going to make here? And I always tell people initially what I like to help them do is cover their own expenses. So instead of them having to necessarily like pay into admin or pay into their leases, that whatever money they're generating, they get to take home. So if they're generating $10,000 a month, then they could take home $10,000 a month, and that the group practice, whatever money they're making from their group practice, can cover their expenses. That's like the first step. Then the next step would be to maybe reduce how many clients they're seeing, and the group practice would then be able to make up for that income. And then finally, the ultimate goal for some group practice owners, not everybody, is to not see clients, not generate income in that way, and allow the group practice to pay a salary to the person running the practice, which is necessary, whether it's the group practice owner, a clinical director, a CFO, COO. Somebody has to run the practice, and usually it's the group practice owner, so they get paid for what they do. I'm here to answer your questions. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.